This video is about filing an annual report for statements of water diversion and use. This covers riparian, pre-1914, and other types of water right claims under statements or S number type water rights. After you've logged into your account, and assuming that you've already migrated your records, you want to navigate to your My Annual Reports. This is, depending on how big your screen is, you may need to scroll down to access this button. Statements are all under this tab. In this case, there are multiple statements related to this water right. I'm going to select this second one, select View All Reports. Here I can see, in this case, I have multiple annual reports that have not been submitted yet. I am going to submit for 2025. But note that if you have missing annual reports for previous years, you can file those as well through the system. Selecting the down arrow at the end and selecting Complete Now will take you to this starting screen. Your annual reports will always start on this screen and will only allow you to go into the basic information. If you select No, it will show you a confirmation of your existing type of claim under this right. If you select Yes, it will allow you to select what your primary claim type is and what any other types of claims under this statement are. In this case, I am not going to change my claim type. On this screen, there is a quick summary of all current owners of the water right. If you need to make any changes and you select Yes, it simply will provide you a secondary screen with more information on where to do that. You cannot make changes to your water right ownership information through the annual report. There's also a question about whether you use any water in this water right for the cultivation of cannabis. This is an informational page if you have selected Yes to making any changes to your contacts. There are links here on where to make ownership or address changes. This screen also gives you a link to general guidelines about statements of use and whether you are currently complying with these guidelines. If you select No, it'll give you an opportunity to describe why you feel like you are not in compliance. On this screen, it will let you provide more information about the types of uses under your claim. There's also a map that is provided in case you want to view where your water right is located, but that is for informational purposes only. In this case, this water right has been claimed for fish and wildlife preservation and enhancement and recreation. If you want to change these, you are free to do so. You can remove them. You can also add new uses related to your claim. In most cases, though, you do not add, or you will probably not add new uses for your claim. On this screen, it is taking any of the information from the previous screen and allowing you to provide more information about that use and whether you used water under that use this year. In this case, it is asking specifically about fish and wildlife preservation and enhancement. Note that to navigate between the different uses, you click on these down arrows. Also, note that these questions are not required, meaning that if it does not make sense for your situation or you do not know the answers to this information, you are able to proceed past the screen. If you do provide information, please make sure to click Save to save the information entered in that section. There's also a box here that lets you describe any changes to your uses of water in any previous statements. In this section, you're reporting the amounts you used per month for the last reporting period on your water right. In this case, is 2025, meaning that the reporting period is between October of 2024 through September of 2025. There are three options that you're able to choose, which will either lock or unlock the monthly values below. Note that there's also a map provided here, which is for informational purposes only to show you where your water right is located. In these three questions, most users will either select the first option or the last option. The first option is I diverted surface water during this reporting period under this water right. This includes both diversions, direct diversions, and diversions to storage. There is also an option for I did not divert or use any water during this reporting period. You'll note that if I select this, it gives you a box to quickly describe why you did not divert any water this year, what the circumstances around that were, and it automatically locks and zeroes out all diversion and use numbers. Reporting zero water right usage on your water right is a valid way to record your water usage. You are still required to report every year, even if you did not divert any water. But this is a quick way to report all zeros for your water right. The middle option is specifically for reporters that have extremely large reservoirs. These most likely will not apply to claim type records, but in case it does, what this does is it says that you did not divert any water directly or to storage this year, but you did use water stored in a previous water year, meaning prior to October of 2024. Again, this probably will not apply to the majority of people, but if it does, it locks everything except the use field. This allows you to provide usage numbers to show where you used water stored in a previous year. In this case, I'm going to select the first option, which unlocks all these fields, then so you can enter monthly data values. In this case, I am reporting usage in October, November, and December. I am also clicking Save in this section to make sure I am saving the information entered. You can see that it has provided a total here for what I've entered for the direct diversion section. You can also similarly enter information for the diversion to storage and the use section. In this case, I am going to provide the same number for my usage. I'm going to click Save. Also note, in each section, you can provide the units that you're reporting in. The two options available are acre-feet and gallons. You are allowed to report in gallons if that is what you divert in. Selecting gallons will automatically convert your numbers to acre-feet for staff. It will be shown as gallons on your report. When you've completed this section, click Next. In this case, I'm going to select that I do not control the maximum flow rate for my diversion. You'll note that the screen where you would have entered maximum flow rates has now been removed. Final question in this section is about whether you were involved with any water transfers or supply contracts. This probably only applies to a select number of water right holders. You should know whether you are involved in water right transfers or supply contracts or not. If you are, select Yes, and it will ask additional information about either the water transfer or the supply contract information related to your water right. Most water right holders will probably select No for both of these options. This page asks questions about measurement devices. This is specific to SB 88 measurement requirements. Before I get into this section, I'll also demonstrate another feature where if you need to stop filling out your form and return and fill it out at another time, you can click Save and Exit. Again, if you have partially entered information on this page, it will not be saved. It will only save information from the latest page that you have fully completed. If you do save and exit, it will take you back to your home screen. You can now exit or log out of the system and return at a later time to restart that same water right in your report. I'm going to navigate directly back into it. to show you that I can now pick it up back where I stopped. You'll see that the status of this water right that I had, or this annual report that I had previously started is now in progress. Go to the drop down arrow at the end of the line and select Complete Now. This will restart the annual report where you left off. If you remember, I left off at the device information screen. The first questions on the measurement device screen is about whether you have measurement data to upload related to your water right. This has to do with Senate Bill 88 measurement requirements and involves reference to other information that you can find using this link. You may need to contact the measurement reporting section of our division if you are unsure about requirements of this section. Generally, what is shown here is the face value of your appropriate water right, as the measurement regulations are based on how much your permit is allowed, not how much you have diverted or reported this year in the previous screen. Note that this is for informational purposes only. This is not the amount that you have reported on previous screen. This is the amount allowed by your overall water right. The bottom three options here are basically telling us that you do not have measurement data to provide to us. Selecting any of these options will basically skip you to the next part of this section. If you do have measurement data to upload, select the first option. This will start other parts of the annual reporting form. This section is a guide to try to help you understand which templates you may need to use. Please note that while you are required to answer these questions, the templates that it suggests to you are simply that, suggestions. They are optional this year. You can also see all of the templates that are provided in annual reporting, regardless of the answers that you gave. Again, these are all optional. If you click on these will download Excel templates of how the measurement section would prefer that you submit your measurement data to us, but it is not required this year. If you have a device registered in the system, it will be shown here. Note that you cannot add or manage devices directly in annual reporting. They are now their own record. There's a separate video about managing measurement devices. In this case, I'm going to go back and select that I am not required to submit a measurement file. This screen will let you provide storage information if there is storage related to your water right. If you do not have storage related to your water right, please ignore these questions. Please note that at this time, if you have multiple storage locations, only one is showing up here. Please fill out the information that makes the most sense for your water right information. And if you need to describe any other things, such as that you were unable to provide information for multiple reservoirs, please describe that here. Some of the information related to reservoirs that you will be asked is what type of storage it is. And depending on what you pick, it will change the other options. In this case, a tank does not have some of the other options that an on or off stream reservoir may have. As other sections, please make sure to select Save before you continue. In this section, you were asked questions about water conservation, and in the next step, reclamation of water. Again, most water right reporters do not report information under this section, but you are free to do so if it makes sense for your water right situation. There are two questions here about whether you want to claim any water conservation and whether you want to say that any of that conserved water was then used. In both cases, when you select these options, new options will appear. If you select that yes, you conserved water, it will ask you to report information by month. If you say that you used this water, it is simply a yes or no question. Similarly, there are questions about reclamation and conjunctive use. Again, these only apply to specific water right holders. Most water rights will select no here. But if you do have information to provide, selecting yes will again provide you another place to provide information about monthly values related to these specific questions. Please select save every time after you have entered information for that section. Note that the system will stop you if you do not select an option. On this page of the annual report, there are two things that you can provide. There's a box to allow you to provide any general comments you want to provide about your annual water use this year, or anything else related to questions you have answered on your annual report. And you are able to upload files that may support anything related to your water rights, specifically about your annual reporting. You do not have to enter any or upload any files at this point. This is simply available for you to provide any files that you wish to help explain your water usage. If you do select upload files, it will open a screen to allow you to pick which files you want to select. The last step of your annual report is to review information that you have submitted, at which point you can also go back into a previous section if you need to edit any of the information that you have provided. The last step to submit your annual report is to click the box declaring that you have provided true and accurate information, and to sign your name, which is typing out your name exactly as it has been registered. As soon as you click submit, this water right annual report has been submitted. You can also return to section or exit, and you can print a PDF or other options before submitting. In this case, I'm going to submit the annual report. Note that this number is the number of the annual report you just filed, not of your water right. It is a unique number for the specific water right. It is a unique number for the specific annual report you just filed. You want to ensure that your annual report was filed. Return to the annual reporting screen. You can see now that your 2025 annual report has now been completed. A quick demonstration of how to access your annual reports if you have multiple water rights. In this case, it can be in either tab, but in this case, there's multiple statements related to this water right. In this case, you will see a line for each water right that you have. If you want to view the annual reports, any of the water rights, click on View All Reports at the end. This will pull up all years for that water right. This will allow you to either amend existing annual reports or start a new annual report for annual reports that have not yet been submitted. After your annual report has been submitted, you can log out of the system or close your screen.